2001. We now observe a moment of silence.
On Monday morning, the Nampa Fire Department held a ceremony to remember and never forget the thousands of lives that were lost on September 11, 2001.
Dear Lord God, we have gathered here today to reflect and remember the horrific and tragic events that occurred 22 years ago in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
It's a day that for many can never be forgotten.
The thing I remembered the most is just thinking about their firehouses that morning before the call came in and how they were so similar to ours. You know, their day kind of started with coffee, just like ours did. You know, they hang out, they drink coffee, they're waiting, developing the plan for the day.
Battalion Chief Keith Elkins had been a firefighter for 6 years at the time of the attack. He was on shift that morning when he received a phone call urging him to turn on the news.
Somebody's spouse calling the firehouse. You know, we didn't all have cell phones then, and so they called the station to tell us, hey, turn on the news. And we did, and like everybody, kind of, it's where we planted ourselves for the next couple of days just to kind of witness the tragedy.
A tragedy surrounded by confusion, sadness, and grief. The entire country was shifted after that day. Even in South Dakota, Mark Gorman is a retired chief ranger at Badlands National Park. He was off of work during the attack, but was ready to protect his country.
It was quite a time as federal officers across the country then were called up into duty to protect icon spots across the country because we had no idea what would come next or if there would be something.
After remembrances of that tragic day that defined a generation, a moment of silence was held for firefighters who put their lives on the line. Now, 22 years later, we reflect on this day with our heads, our hearts, and our country's flag held high. In Nampa, Jessica Davis, Idaho, News 6.